Hello, compatriots. This is a joyful moment. Joyful. The kind of joy I didn't think it was possible to experience in this country any longer. I thought we would not gather in the name of Europe and stand and march together, shoulder to shoulder, in this country any longer, especially not in the north. I thought this kind of collaboration and solidarity had been taken away from us, and that we had been split through the middle, split asunder, divided forever, from the continent and from each other, and soon from our brothers and sisters in Scotland. But here we are. We love Europe. We love it because it is our continent. We love it because it is part of our history and our geography. We love it because we are part of it. Europe is us. It is our freedom, our strength, and our diversity. We love the EU because it has brought us peace for 70 years. Do not knock it. Collaboration with Europe has given us prosperity and safety. Why would we want to say no to its opportunities and challenges? We are part of it. We are interwoven. We cannot unpick this. And why should we? Because the people have spoken? Who are these people who voted to leave? Amongst the 17 million who voted for Brexit, there are many who wanted their voice to be heard and who voted in protest and despair. But it is not Europe that is to blame for the problems they rail against. It is the mentality in this country, the divisiveness between haves and have-nots, the lack of fairness. And that is about to get a lot worse instead of getting better. And when people are told that they have already spoken and should shut up, they know that the wool is being pulled over their eyes and that they are being lied to. For that's not what democracy is about. Democracy is about the people speaking their minds with clarity and kindness and coming to a consensus. It is about respect for each other. It is not a competition where there is only one winner. And it is never about clobbering each other and shutting others up with put-downs or name-calling. That is the hallmark of intolerance and demagoguery. Let's not forget that the people is also the 16 million who voted Remain, plus the 3.3 million EU citizens in the UK who were deprived of a vote in a matter so vital to our own existence and future. This was unconscionable and anti-democratic. Add to that the 1.5 million Euro Brits who live elsewhere in Europe, and half of whom were also deprived of the vote. That adds up to a cool 20 million. 20 million people who value Europe and whose voices have been silenced. You call that democracy? No, that is why we are speaking up here today, so that the silenced majority may finally be heard again. Yes, the people are gathering. They are marching. They are talking. The people are fed up, wronged, and exploited. But the people aren't stupid, and they won't be fooled for long. The people of Britain know that we can only thrive together with warm hearts and collaborative action. Respectfully. We know we need to stand strong, and we are here today to show our courage and strength to the whole nation. We love this country, and we also love our continent. Go UK, go Europe. Let's rise up from this misery, this loss of identity, this miscarriage of justice that we have borne for 9 months. I have seen so much fear and so much sorrow since the referendum. As a psychotherapist, I have listened to the tragedies and wretchedness of so many who feel suddenly threatened and have lost their safety and their freedom. Many experience it as a loss of reality and identity. They suddenly find themselves unwanted, undesirable, unheard, and rejected. And not all of these were EU citizens who have made their home in the UK and who are a vital part of our economy. Some of them were their spouses, and many others were the millions of young people who weren't given a vote either. Their hopes for the future were crushed, and it has a terrible effect on their mental health. Remember that European nationals are only the first line of attack in this process. As they said about the 30s, first they come for the migrants, then for the intellectuals, and finally they come for you and take all your freedom away from you. Each of our rights and futures are at stake, especially those of the young ones amongst us. They naturally want the same advantages we older ones have had and have taken for granted and are so easily giving away right now. And why wouldn't the young ones be able to have the freedom to travel, to explore, to work and to study and make relationships elsewhere, unhindered by borders, rules and boundaries? Why do we accept this new, fearful existence that makes us wary? Fear is everywhere suddenly, as people dare not speak their minds. We're hiding from the enemy amongst us. We're isolating ourselves. We're shutting ourselves up. Life becomes grey and somber, and the future looks like thunder. Some of us have identified with the aggressor and have become callous and short-tempered and accusatory. This is hardly surprising, as people have been bitter for a long time and think they have finally found an object for their aggression and their rancor. It must be the migrants that have robbed us of our jobs. It must be Europe that has stopped the lot. Accept that it wasn't. You were misinformed. When we are desperate to find a better life, it is tempting to find easy answers. But deep down people know it's not right, for they know they have been lied to. But some of us still buy it. We're so desperate to feel safe. We may see nationalism as the only way forward. We are prepared to cut off our noses to spite our faces. But there will be a huge price to pay, and we will be paying it for many generations. When you hide from truth and refuse to collaborate with your neighbors, you become alienated. Things lose their value and their meaning. When people hide, they start to die inside. The world turns absurd. They wither emotionally and even physically. They become harsh. They may try to escape from this by turning to drink or violence. But these things never do the trick. They make things worse. They get you deeper into the lying. Inside you, you keep dying. What we all want is our safety back. We are not really divided. They have divided us in order to drive us to distraction. Don't let them do it. Don't let them rule you. As Jo Cox said, we have more in common than what divides us. She was right, and she died for it. We all want to feel good at home again. We want to know we have a future. We want to build. We want to thrive. Oh yes, we want our country back. We all do. But we can't have our country without our continent too. Let's not replace EU bureaucracy with London bureaucracy, which is far worse. Trust me, it took me a year to convince the Home Office to give me British citizenship. Don't fall for the lies. Think for yourself. We must never falter, but build bridges, not walls, and remain in communication with each other, and not ever fear the bullies who bulldoze us. We need to find our existential courage and face this deep crisis. This is our true cause for optimism today. For never have we felt so strongly about what is right and wrong. Never have we been so outspoken and articulate about what we want. The catastrophe of Brexit has woken us and has revived our political will and power. Oh yes, the people are speaking today, and we have a great deal more to say, and we will say it.